καλωσορίσω σε έναν ακόμα επεισόδιο του Healthy Lifestyle. Είναι το πρώτο της σεζόν. Και σήμερα θα έχουμε μια εκπομπή και θα μιλήσουμε στα αγγλικά, έτσι ώστε να μπορούμε να καταλαβαίνει και η καλεσμένη μου. So today we will do a new podcast episode for Healthy Lifestyle. We will do it in English because my guest is a special guest coming from UK. And before the introduction of yourself, I would like to ask her, do you believe in miracles?
100%.
Yeah, perfect. So please let us know about yourself, some things, the reason that you are here in Cyprus, and about your job. Who are you actually, in order to explain to the people?
I would like to say hello to all of you who are watching this podcast. Thank you for joining us. My name is Saghar Kasiri. I'm Director of European Operations for Cryos International, which is the largest donor sperm and egg bank in the world. My profession has been in embryology, so I've been an embryologist for 26 years. And I'm based in UK, so I've worked and I've been very privileged to work in a number of IVF clinics, helping thousands of patients to achieve a pregnancy through the treatments. And for the last 3 years, I have had this special project to do, which was to open the first European independent egg bank for Cryos International. They have been a sperm bank for over 33 years. And their dream was that after opening their first egg bank in US, to be able to open their first European egg bank. And where better than Cyprus?
Yeah, you chose Cyprus.
We chose Cyprus, and this has been my second home for the past 3 years. And I've thoroughly enjoyed working with our fantastic team in Cyprus, which is all from local scientists, doctors, nurses, professionals that are in Cyprus. It's a very special week for us this week. Yeah. We have the grand opening ceremony of the clinic, which we've been delaying because of COVID. And we are very lucky to have the presence of some very important dignitaries in Cyprus to come for the opening ceremony this Thursday afternoon. And then on Friday, we have the 4th International Symposium of Cryos. We have had it in Denmark, which is our headquarters, and in USA before. It's the first time that it's happening in Cyprus. And from what I understand, it's the first time we will have this many doctors and scientists and embryologists and nurses traveling from across the world, from as far away as USA, Korea, Iran. I think we have about 140 guests arriving for the symposium, and is going to be under the auspices of Ministry of Health here. So it's going to be a very special few days for us at Cryos.
Yeah, and it's a very special actually for the medical people. I mean, in Cyprus, I think it will be the first time
of its kind. Yes,
yeah,
yes, especially in the field of reproductive biology or IVF. And we are extremely honored that even though that we're coming out of the pandemic, many of these doctors and scientists have actually decided to travel to Cyprus. And you know what? This is great because it's part of our mission. When we came to Cyprus, Cyprus was a perfect bridge between the East and the West. And we're hoping that with many of these clinics coming here to Cyprus, seeing the fantastic local IVF clinics we have here, with our presence being able to provide the gametes, the donor eggs and the sperm for the patients, we could form a lot of networking and collaborations between clinics abroad and clinics here in Cyprus, IVF clinics, so they can start receiving more patients coming from abroad for treatment to Cyprus. We have the infrastructure, we have the great clinics here, and we should be able to host many of fertility patients traveling abroad for treatment.
And beside the high IVF and fertility level that they have. We have also the son, and they can, the patients can come and do also their holidays, and this is very good for the IVF, because if you are not stressed, you have the positive result.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with a good quality sperm and egg that we will be providing them, and the great treatments that they can get at the local IVF clinics, they can enjoy the sun, the sand, the sea, the great food, the music, and everything that is lovable about Cyprus.
Yeah. So I would like to welcome you. Thank you. It's honor for me and for everyone here. And let's begin. Our topic is egg donation. So I would like to ask you, what is the egg donation for the two parts? The patient, first of all, and then the egg donor.
Sure. So on the patient, if we want to look at it from the point of view of patients, many of the patients that contact Cryos for eggs, we have established our bank in US for over 6 years now. We see that majority of these patients are either patients who have tried IVF and failed for a number of cycles, and they're eventually facing the situation where the doctors tell them, unfortunately, with their own eggs, they will not be able to be successful to have a baby. Or we are looking at patients who've had cancer treatment and unfortunately don't have the possibility of using their own eggs anymore. Or we have got patients who have, for various reasons, it can be social, it could be economical, or even professional reasons, have delayed motherhood. And they are now over the age of 40, and unfortunately, they are not getting pregnant with their own eggs. So their only option is actually egg donation. And of course, we've got patients who've got genetic problems as well that would make them infertile with their own eggs. So there is a number of causes, and the only option sometimes for these patients is to go through with the egg donation treatment. It's not a new treatment. It's been around from early 1980s. It's just obviously become more brought by the media, by discussions like this. It's been brought more to the attention of patients, so more patients know about it. The field has really revolutionized with being able to freeze eggs successfully, where we couldn't do that before, which I'm sure we'll explain a little bit later. So all in all, this is a treatment that works very well, has been the reason for many thousands and hundreds of thousands of children being born as a result of this treatment for couples that actually long to have their own family. From the point of view of donors, well, we humans, we always like altruistic acts. You know, we all think, when we think that somebody is in need, it is in our nature to want to go to their help. Whether it's by helping charities, whether it's by blood donation, organ donation. And when this field of infertility became an issue that was talked about a lot more and wasn't so much taboo, and the stigma is getting removed, more and more women and men came forward to help those couples that couldn't have their own genetic children.
We can mention also the great advertisement that you have. I mean, it's there are the people that they are saving lives, and the people that they are creating lives.
Yes, definitely.
So,
so more and more people came forward to become donors, because they realized that with the act of donation, they could be making the dreams come true for many couples that have these issues. We know that now probably around 12 to 15% of the worldwide population is going through some kind of fertility issues. And this is according to WHO, World Health Organization statistics. So if we think about it, from 6 couples that we know, one of them would be suffering some kind of infertility issue. So it is unfortunately very common. And these donors, we have a great campaign. We have called it Some Save Life. some give life. We have doctors, we have policemen or women, we have firemen or women who save lives, and we have donors, altruistic donors, who with their acts actually help to give life.
Yeah, they can make the dream
come true.
Yeah, perfect. And create a family for a couple that the patient is trying for a lot of years, and she cannot create her family, and someone else who can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So these are the reasons also to become an egg donor. I mean, the altruism.
Yes, and also we provide the egg donors and the sperm donors that we have with full health checkup. So we do a full background check, because as much as possible, we must make sure that the gametes, the sperm and egg donors that we provide to our patients, they are healthy. And therefore, we do a huge amount of screening on our donors, from mental screening to make sure that they are happy and they have made the right decision and they have thought about the implications of donation.
This is important, very important.
Very important. We have independent counselor that see our donors, and then they write a report to us to say that they are happy that the donation can go ahead, all the way to checking their family health background, all the way back to grandparents. And we then do genetic check on them. We do sexually transmitted disease testing on them, full blood test, karyotyping. So we do a vast number of screening to make sure they're healthy, both physically and mentally, in order to be able to go through donation. So when we did a motivational studies from our donors at Cryos, of course, number one reason for them that wanted to donate, whether they were a sperm donor or egg donors, it was altruistic. The altruistic act of donation was the number one reason. Number two was that they were getting a full health checkup. Of course, many people like to do that, and it can cost a lot of money if they're doing it on their own.
And they want to know, and it's very good to know if I am a young woman and without any babies, no pregnancies, I will have this benefit. I will get this benefit actually to meet myself, to meet my DNA, and find from the genetic screening what genes I am carrying, in order to prevent a miscarriage or a pregnancy in the future that is going to be
that's right.
with a problem.
And the other motivation for them was that many of them know somebody in their family or friends who's gone through infertility. And often when we ask the donors their motivation or what do they think about donation, and we have some women or men who have become mothers or fathers themselves, their answer is that they want to bring the same joy they have experienced in their own life to other people. And this is amazing, and this is what you call altruistic donation, because it's when you know that you can have something that others are desperately trying for a very, very long time and not succeeding. Now, by choice, some people decide not to have children, and that's absolutely fine. It's a choice. But for those that do want it and they need a helping hand, this is what donation can do.
Yeah, of course. So starting from the beginning, actually, who can become a donor? I mean,
So our egg donors are ladies between the ages of 18 to 32. They must be, as I said earlier, physically and mentally healthy. They must have the right body mass index, because that's very important on the quality of their eggs they produce. And we check the health of their ovaries, and they receive a full gynecological checkup. We make sure that they are healthy and that they're happy to donate. And then once we've done all the screening processes, and as I said, we have a very strict process, because out of 100 applications, for example, that we get, only 4 of those applications make it all the way through to donation. So if we say conversion rates for our egg donors is only about 4%, which is not a lot. And that's because we are so strict with the process, because we guarantee the eggs that we provide to our patients. Because we have to provide such a high quality eggs in order to provide a guarantee to the patients for pregnancy, then we must obviously be very strict with our criteria.
Yeah, of course.
So once they go through the donation, and perhaps here I would like to mention for the viewers that are actually thinking about donating their eggs, one question that we often get is, would this impact my own fertility in the future? And it's a very fair question to ask, and a very good question to ask.
And if it's safe?
And is it safe?
Yeah. And
the procedure is very safe. It's the same procedure that's been used for 42 years or over 42 years in IVF. So medication is safe. The procedure is safe. We only use expert doctors from here. And hopefully you can come and visit us at the bank. You will see that we've got a state-of-art clinic that we've established here with the highest technology possible, so to make it very, very safe and for our donors, and of course the procedure must be safe for our doctors who are practicing this as well in Cyprus. So the question is, does it affect their own fertility? No, because we women, we actually lose quite a lot of potential follicles or eggs or premature eggs every month when we have our period. So on average, they are estimating something around perhaps 700-800 to 1,000 follicles are lost every month when we ovulate. So for getting one mature egg, we don't have a very efficient reproductive system as humans. We lose about 1,000. And when you donate eggs, we tap into those eggs. You would have lost that month anyway. And we aim to only remove about 20 to 25 of them. So we're not aiming to remove the 1,000 because it's impossible. It would not be possible to do that. And we wouldn't want to do that anyway. So out of 1,000,
and we give also specific doses of the medication in order to,
which is very controlled.
To avoid the hyperstimulation.
Exactly. They receive the scans. They receive blood tests every few days to make sure that the follicles and the ovaries are healthy and doing very well on those medications. So really, in the context, when you look, out of 1,000, we take about 20 to 25. So it does not impact their own future fertility. If anything, they probably find a lot more about their potential fertility through the donation. Okay. Because we check all their female hormones and make sure that they are within the normal range as well.
And also we can answer to this question by examples with ex-donors that they donated before and now they have their own family.
Children. Yes, they have their own children. And the same thing for the sperm donation. Same process. We check the sperm thoroughly. We check the health of the sperm donors as well. So yes, it is the same process that we do for them as well. So all in all, the process is safe. The process will not impact their own fertility, and it is legal in Cyprus. This is very important to mention because that's kind of concern for some donors that would like to come through and donate. It's been legal for many, many years. We are all licensed by the Ministry of Health in Cyprus, and we have a very close collaboration with the ministry. All IVF clinics do, and us as a bank as well. First independent bank in Cyprus. Also, we work under directions from the Ministry of Health. So this is all legal and absolutely fine.
And following the law.
Following the law, yeah. And I think it's also very important to mention that when we have our egg donors that come through, for us, the journey we provide for them is very important. Our donor coordinators that work with the donors, egg donors, because the process can take up to about 3 months from the time they come through until they go through all the screening and make it all the way to donation. Our donor coordinators are there every step of the way. They almost become like best friends to the donors. And we appreciate that our donor coordinators spend so much time and provide so much support, because some of our donors will not disclose to anyone that they are donating, even to the closest family members. So they may go through this journey completely on their own. Without the donor coordinators that are there like a sister, it would be impossible.
Yeah, perfect. Everything is fine, but we need to inform the donors about the benefits of the donation. We mentioned the full screening and the blood test and everything that we can give it to them, offer to them for free. But is there anything else as a benefit?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to put the record straight here as well, because even our patients or the general public might think that the donors get compensated hugely. We are all working under the EU Tissue Directive recommendations, and of course recommendations of the local guidelines here as well. And the donors do get compensated, but they get reimbursed for their time and effort. So if you imagine a donor that comes in for 3 months for a number of time to the clinic to have all the checkups and then go through the medication and then go through a small procedure to remove the eggs, obviously needs to be reimbursed for all the time and effort that she puts into place. So no, the level of financial benefit for them is really not huge, but it is, we hope, enough that covers their time and effort that they are putting into it. Of course, they get that, and they also get the full health checkup that they have with us. And I think the fulfillment of being able to help families to make their dreams come true, which is what our mission is as Cryos.
And it's good to mention that the compensation is not a payment actually, and it's according to the law, and we are following the guidelines for this compensation. So it's actually a benefit, not a payment, and it's helpful and for the effort and donation of the donor for the act. Okay. Except of the benefits, the donation as an act, if a girl wants to become an egg donor and wants to find details, information about her first before she contact with the clinic, where she can search. I mean, there are a lot of sites in Google, in website, in a lot of websites, but it's very important to find details that are safe and describe exactly the procedure.
Certainly. I think it's very important that the donors are going to websites that are part of either a bank like us or IVF clinics, which are under regulation of their local country. So, for example, us as a bank, Cryos International, we have a website that they can read everything to do with about donation on that website. And also the IVF clinics have a lot of information as well. And these are regulated websites, or at least they are websites that are belonging to clinics and banks that are regulated by the Ministry of Health. So they must be careful where they read the information. There is a lot of information on the internet, but they need to make sure that the source of that information is correct.
Yeah. Okay. And hopefully our Ministry of Health will help us with papers or actually a website that we can send our donors to find details officially and inform with this way the people, because it's a little bit problem with advertisement and information of the donors now in Cyprus. I hope that this is going to be it will finish until the end of this year. They are doing a lot of things in order to change the law about this, because it's very important. You know, we have patients, but we do not have a lot of donors, and so we need the donors.
I agree with you. We are providing the treatment, but if we provide the treatment but don't have donor eggs or donor sperm to treat the patients with, then we are pushing our patients away to go to other countries that may not be as regulated under the EU tissue directive as we are within EU. So it is important that for the safety of our patients, we can find and we can have donor eggs and donor sperm, but of course the marketing for that or the information that we give out to the donors must be within a framework, and it should also be tasteful. Okay, now I always say that 50 years ago, when people were talking about blood donation, many people were scared of it, and they saw a taboo, and they didn't want to get involved. And it was only because the media opened up the conversation, and there was talks about it. The donor cards came out, and that was for organ donation and for also blood donation. Nowadays, our attitude has changed. When we are blood donors or organ donors, we are proud to be blood donors or organ donors. And I think one day we will see that change happen with egg donation and sperm donation. But if we cannot discuss this information out in the public in a tasteful manner, in an ethical manner, then we would not be able to get the donors to be able to help those couples that need donation treatment. And we can only do it with wonderful people like yourselves who is trying to bring awareness. The other journalists that are really opening the subject, in public and having a faithful, I call it, debate. The reason I'm saying faithful, because if we are giving the wrong information, we're not being faithful to ourselves and to the rest of the public. So that's very important. On top of that, I think it's very important that we have fertility awareness. I myself, on behalf of Cryos, have a lot of university seminars, and even during COVID, we turned those into webinars on fertility awarenesses. My passion has been to do with enlightening the younger generation to be aware about their own fertility and to understand what could impact the future of their fertility. Unfortunately, in the schools, and I have 2 children myself, I know, I've been looking at their curriculum all over through the years. In the school, we talk a lot about how not to get pregnant or not to get somebody pregnant. We hardly talk about how important your fertility is and how important it is to preserve your fertility. And that is missing from the sexual education of our younger children. How so their social lifestyle can impact, like their drinking, smoking, sexually transmitted diseases, even weight, balance of being, within the normal range BMI. So all these can impact their future, and we are hoping that by bringing this fertility awareness to the younger generation, we will have less patients to treat in the future, but also healthier donors to be able to help those that will inevitably, due to genetic reasons, due to cancer treatment, due to any other thing, will need donation treatment.
I agree with you, and I hope that in the universities or in the late years of the school, it will be a session with fertility, both of them, women and men, and how to check my fertility, if I'm fertile or not, and how to cryopreserve actually my fertility. This is very important, because if we all the patients, all the women that get an egg donation treatment, maybe they could avoid this treatment if they cryopreserved their eggs in the past, and now cryopreservation is in a very high level. So it's a good option to discuss a little bit about the cryopreservation, what is cryopreservation of the eggs, and why it's a good option and a gift of the, it's a medical gift actually to the women.
Yes, definitely. So up to a few years ago, we could not successfully freeze eggs. We could, but they wouldn't survive very well. But a new technology came into the field of reproductive medicine called vitrification, and it literally revolutionized it for being able to successfully freeze eggs and keep them frozen without impact on the quality, and be able to then thaw or defrost them when we need to take them out and use them in the treatment. Because this technology was so important, it actually also opened the avenue for many women that for various reasons, for either because of choice or for whatever reason that was their, not having a partner, or having a partner not being able to have a child at that particular time, they could also freeze their eggs successfully. And then before it gets too late, before they hit the age of 40, then they would have problems with the quality of their eggs. They could freeze and then use it when it was needed for having children. So that's the concept of the social egg freezing that came out. And I personally, I'm very proud to see what Cyprus has done, because I don't think any other government that I know of, at least, has actually provided this benefit for the young women in their countries, where the governments helps and assists women to be able to freeze their eggs so that they can use it later on when they're ready to have a child. And I think this is a benefit that is rarely seen in any other country. I think the Ministry of Health does a great job of this, and therefore I hope that many women take it up and use this benefit that's available to them.
Exactly. During the last year,
yes,
the government decided to make a gift to all these women that they are decided to create.
And we can provide. We are obviously, Cryos has been expert in freezing eggs, because that's what our job is, day in and day out. We're the experts that freeze and thaw eggs successfully, and of course there are many other IVF clinics who do it as well. So I think this is a great opportunity. We'll be happy to provide them with a lot of information and guidance, and be able to offer this treatment of frozen freezing social eggs for them. I think it's very important to say that it's been going on actually for a few years. We were freezing ovaries initially for cancer patients. So now we can successfully freeze the eggs, which is very good news.
And something that it's for us actually, it's between us. I think it will be the best if we offer to our egg donors, after their donation, after 1 or 2 donations, to cryopreserve them eggs.
Yes.
Without any cost. I mean, this is another benefit that we have to think about it and offer to our egg donors.
Or vice versa. If you are somebody that would like to freeze your eggs, and you've frozen a couple of rounds for yourself, you may wish to donate and make sure that they're, by freezing your own eggs, you're also helping other women in the future, by having another cycle of donation, or vice versa for donors, to be offered to be able to freeze for themselves as well. So I think we have a very good infrastructure here that we're working towards, and I think it will get just better and better for the benefit of both the donors and benefit of the patients.
I would like to thank you for this lovely discussion, and I would like to have a hope, a good willing message in order to close this lovely episode for all this that we discussed, for the egg donors, for the patients, for everyone who is going to listen to this episode.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for inviting me
here.
It's
my honor.
Right at the beginning of the program, you asked me if I believed in miracles. I think our donors are miracles. I think they help to bring a miracle around. I think every child that's born, that has been born as a result of help from assisted conception, is a miracle. is a child that we know that many families have longed to have. And yes, I am a scientist, but I still believe in miracles, because miracles are created by people who give selflessly and who give for the benefit of helping somebody else. And I think that is extremely important. So every day is a miracle, and every donation, I see it as a gift of life.
Yeah. And every day we're creating miracles.
We are creating.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.